Talen Horton-tucker trade that will shock the Lakers fans.
3 teams likely to pursue Talen Horton-tucker in free agency. The Los Angeles Lakers battled injuries all throughout the 2020-2021 NBA season, and as a result, they were unable to defend their championship from 2020. They were eliminated in the first round by the Phoenix Suns, thus sending the Lakers to the beach earlier than they would have liked. This is definitely not a bad thing for this team though. With all of the injuries they have suffered throughout the years and the stress of having to go straight from the 2019-2020 season into this past season, having an elongated break for once may wind up being the best thing for LeBron James and company. However, this offseason is going to be very important for them because they have some big decisions to make regarding some of the talent that has been on their roster over the years. Dennis Schroeder, Andre Drummond and Alex Caruso are the 3 biggest names from their roster this past year that are set to become unrestricted free agents, but Talen Horton-tucker is also going to be a free agent. The 20-year-old shooting guard is going to be a restricted free agent this offseason, and the Los Angeles Lakers announced on Thursday that they had extended a qualifying offer to him. The qualifying offer is $1.9 million, but it is expected that Horton-tucker will decline this offer from the Lakers. His name has become one of more intriguing to watch in rumors this NBA offseason. This does not mean that he is leaving Los Angeles, but Talen Horton-tucker is a young player with a lot of potential to grow into a key talent at the shooting guard position, which is why he is going to look to get a raise this offseason. While it is highly unlikely that he receives this kind of offer, one league executive told Bleacher Report's Eric Pincus that he would max him out in regards to Horton-tucker's next contract. Could Talen Horton-tucker actually get a 4-year, $83 million deal this offseason after averaging just 19.5 minutes per game through his first 2 seasons in Los Angeles? Let's take a look at the 3 most likely teams to pursue the young guard in free agency this year. Cleveland Cavaliers. Nobody really knows what to expect from the Cleveland Cavaliers this offseason, but they do reportedly have interest in both Alex Caruso and Talen Horton-tucker, 2 of the Lakers' free agents this offseason. Right now, the Cavaliers do have roughly $18 million in cap space to play around with, but they could very well look to use all of this money to bring back Jarrett Allen. The young center is also a restricted free agent this offseason and is expected to receive a 3- to 4-year deal that pays him roughly $18 million per season. Bringing Jarrett Allen back is high on the Cavaliers' priority list, but if they end up with Evan Mobley in this year's draft, they could very well look to target players to other positions. Outside of Darius Garland and Colin Sexton, the Cavs really do not have much talent in their backcourt, which is why they could very well pursue a young guy like Talen Horton-tucker. He fits their mold of a young, athletic player, and he could really thrive in a backup role behind Sexton at the shooting guard position. While he has not played much through his first 2 years in the league, Talen Horton-tucker's per 36 minutes stats are quite impressive, as he is averaging 16.1 points, 4.6 rebounds, 4.9 assists and shooting 45.9% from the floor. He obviously would not be the star in Cleveland and would not see said minutes, but for 20 to 25 minutes per game, there is no reason why THT cannot be a spark for the Cavaliers off the bench. Financial hardships. Right now, the Cavaliers would probably be willing to offer a maximum of $8 million per year for Horton-tucker. Getting a max contract in general this offseason seems highly unlikely for Talen Horton-tucker, but there are going to be teams willing to offer him more than the mid-level exception, and the Cavaliers are definitely one of those teams if they decide not to bring back Jarrett Allen. Chicago Bulls. With an all-star duo of Zach LaVine and Nikola Vucevic, the Chicago Bulls have a chance to springboard themselves into playoff consideration during the 2021-2022 season, but Kobe White being out is a big loss for them. White underwent successful surgery on his left shoulder on June 10 to repair a torn labrum. His timetable to return is 4 to 6 months, meaning that White will likely be out until around November, but he may not even return until December. His return is very up in the air right now, which is why the Bulls will definitely be looking to add some backcourt depth this offseason. This is something that has spread around the NBA in rumors as of late. Targeting a point guard is definitely in play for them, but NBA Analysis Network's own Evan Massey reported back in June that the Bulls are expected to show interest in Talen Horton-tucker. Given his upside as a scorer and ability to keep his opponents out of the lane defensively, Horton-Tucker is definitely a unique player that could fit well in Chicago's system. Targeting a point guard is definitely in play for them, but NBA Analysis Network's own Evan Massey reported back in June that the Bulls are expected to show interest in Talen Horton-Tucker. Given his upside as a scorer and ability to keep his opponents out of the lane defensively, Horton-Tucker is definitely a unique player that could fit well in Chicago's system. The biggest problem with the Bulls roster right now is that they are lacking overall talent. LaVine and Vucevic are two highly talented players, but outside of these two guys, the Bulls really are rolling the dice to find production. Thaddeus Young and Tomas Satoransky both had solid seasons last year, as did rookie wing Patrick Williams, but there are a lot of unknowns about the talent on this roster. With limited cap space, going after Horton-Tucker could put the Bulls in a bad spot financially, but they need guys who can come in and produce. Given the opportunity, Talen Horton-Tucker can absolutely be this kind of player for the Bulls next to Zach LaVine, which is why they may look to sign him with their mid-level exception or possibly more. Los Angeles Lakers. Seeing as they extended a qualifying offer to him, it seems like the Los Angeles Lakers do have interest in keeping their young guard. Now, by extending him this offer, the Lakers can not only match any offer sheet he signs in free agency, but they control the rights to him and can even work out a sign-and-trade deal that will work in their favor. Los Angeles is a championship contending team with LeBron and AD, but they are very high on the idea of adding a third all-star talent to pair with these two guys. Financially, it will be hard to make this work, but in a perfect world, adding a third superstar-like talent is a possibility for the Lakers this offseason if they can leverage their free agent assets like Dennis Schroeder and Talen Horton-Tucker. Being able to possibly sign and trade Horton-Tucker could prove very useful to the Lakers, but at the end of the day, re-signing him to a 2-year deal could be just as important. THT has a lot of upside as a player, and he has proven this time and time again when given the opportunity to play. Talen Horton-Tucker is not a superstar talent and maybe does not possess the potential to be this kind of player, but there is no reason why he cannot be a key contributor for the Lakers off the bench for many years to come. His teammates seem to enjoy having him around, and when he has been on the court, Horton-Tucker has been a key contributor for Los Angeles. They definitely cannot afford to bring him back on a max contract or even close to this kind of contract, but using their MLE to sign the young shooting guard is definitely an option. If Talen Horton-Tucker wants to remain in LA, he may have to be willing to accept less money than he could get from other teams. In doing so though, he would continue to be on a championship contending team and could potentially work himself into a bigger role with the Lakers, given that Schroeder, Kuzma and Caruso could all be on the move this offseason. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear from me again, be sure to hit that subscribe button before you go.